Reus in die Mitte! Wir machen rein! Tor! 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 Big up to everybody. Welcome back to the Michael Talks Football channel. Or if you're new around here, welcome to the MTF channel. Another Champions League week, another review. We didn't have as enthralling as match day 2 where, Lens and Galatasaray with shocking wins. But again, very intriguing matchups, very intriguing headlines going on. We're going to discuss about PSG dismantling an absolutely hopeless, unenthusiastic, horrifically bad Milan performance yesterday. Then we're going to talk about Feyenoord and Real Sociedad. Are these guys dark horses to make a run in the Champions League? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below of that. And Onana saves Man United's Champions League campaign for now. But big up to everybody. If you haven't done so already, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. The goal is to get to 50 likes so we can do that easy. I know we can. Big up to Andy. Says, Michael, please be easy on AC Milan. Andy? Nope. The cold, hard facts must be spoken today about Milan. Big up to Ian. Big up to Jeff. Big up to TJ. Big up to Antonio. Santiago. Oh, of course, we're going to talk about Santi Jimenez. Yes, of course, I watch his stand. We're going to talk about Feyenoord dismantling Lazio, like I called it. Actually, you know what? Before we even get to everything, let me just bring this up, people, right? If you haven't joined the Champions League Predictor League for the MTF, I would do so right now. The link to that is, where is that? On the Match Day 3 predictions video. But here, let me just show you what I did on Match Day 3, people. 68 points your boy got. 68 points, right? Got the Lens PSV game correct. Got Arsenal Sevilla correct. Got Man United Copenhagen correct. And I put the double booster on Feyenoord beating Lazio 3-1. And I knew it. And I called it. Santi Jimenez scored 2 goals. But anyways, we're going to get away from that. And bigging up myself. Big up to MM. Big up to Dexter. Big up to Alexander. And big up to Captain as well. All right. As we always do, people, we're going to start with the Tuesday games, then go into the Wednesday games. So let's start off with the Tuesday games. We did a watch-along for this matchup between Galatasaray and Bayern Munich, so I'm not going to go into huge detail about the game. You can pretty much watch the highlights of the watch-along if you want to. But we have to just say that Galatasaray deserved to at least get a point in this game. They were unbelievable for the first 50 minutes, I would say. And then they gassed out. But they had all the chances in the world. Icardi, Artur, I can name it. We saw the game. We knew what happened. And when you don't take your chances against this Bayern side, you will be punished. Because while Bayern they don't look good. And I know people want to say, oh, but Bayern have not played against a team that really presses them. I could care less. They had quality footballers, but they played crap. It's plain and simple. Bayern did not know how to handle the press. Thomas Tuchel didn't really make in-game tactical difference, did he? It was just his players, Musiala, Leroy Sané, well, except for Leroy Sané, because Leroy Sané I thought was horrifically bad in the game, and Harry Kane. And Kane, while he didn't have his greatest game, gets a goal. So this is the thing. Bayern do not look good at all. They don't look good at all. But somehow they keep on winning. How long is this going to... Everybody, if you're watching a replay and if you're watching the chat right now, if you're seeing how Bayern are playing right now, what's the max stage they get to? Because for me, I think it's the quarterfinals. If they keep playing like this, if they go up against a Man City, even Arsenal, but Barcelona, if I know Bayern and Barcelona, I know Bayern own Barcelona, but this Barca side are much better if they're healthy. Because this Bayern team is simply not playing to the level that they should be playing. I could care what anybody says. They should be playing a whole lot better. And Tuchel needs to fix that immediately. Because he's getting bailed out by his individual talents. He is. But give it time. And it's been a long time since Bayern have lost the Champions League group stage game. But I'm just worried for them when they go up against the top squads in Europe. Like Konrad Laimer and Kimmich, both disastrous on the day. I actually thought De Ligt played decently, and so did Kim Min-jae. And I thought Mazraoui was Bayern's best player. I thought Mazraoui really showed why he should be starting at right back, and not Konrad Laimer, and not anybody else. It should be Mazraoui. But I got to give it to Galatasaray. They played well. They gassed out. But their last two games are going to be so key. If Galatasaray can beat Man United on match day 5, I think they're going to make it through. Can they get a point away in Munich? It's going to be tough. They're going to have a whole lot of fans, as we can imagine that they will have. But it's going to be very tough, I think, for Galatasaray in that matchup. But they played really well. They just got to be a lot. I keep saying this about Galatasaray. Defensively, they have to be a lot better. And they still have not shown that to me in this Champions League. But their games, highly entertaining. So give it up to Galatasaray and all the ex-Premier League players and Dries Mertens and Icardi, because they balled out, but they just couldn't win the game. The other game, FC Copenhagen, man. FC Copenhagen. I have tried to say to you people, this is actually a very good team. And yet again for FC Copenhagen, they're going to kick themselves because they should have gotten a point in this game. I think they were surprised at how bad Man United were in that first half. I think that's what shocked FC Copenhagen. They're like, huh? This is Man United. In that first half, I'm only speaking about the first half, people, right? They're like, who the heck are these guys? This is not the Man United that we know. They hit the post, they created chances, but they were not clinical enough. It just shows you when you don't have the quality in the side. And look, FC Copenhagen, they have sold so many players in the last couple of years. You know, Rasmus Højlund was played for them 2 seasons ago when he was 18 years old. Now they're going up against him. So this is the problem. Like, FC Copenhagen can't really keep the players because of just, you know, financial, and bigger teams across Europe are going to just spend the money on their guys. But they should really have 5 points in this group right now. FC Copenhagen. They should have 5, but they have 0. That's just what's really painful, I think, for them, is they don't have any points, but I think they can really be proud of how well they have played. They're still in this group. It's not over. Like, I'll show you the standings. But man, I really feel bad for FC Copenhagen. But Man United are not playing well right now at all. They're not playing well at all. This is not good vibes right now with Ten Hag. I know there's still a lot of injuries to his back line and that sort of stuff, but United don't look good, people. I can speak, well, sort of as a neutral. I'm a Liverpool fan, but I can keep an honest opinion on Man United when they're good and when they're bad. And right now, it's uninspiring. There's no patterns of play. There was an image where it showed 3 defenders and everybody else forward, and that was in the first half. Who in the midfield is going to collect the ball and show some drive? Nobody did in that first half. Second half, they played a lot better. And this is the funniest thing, people. Look who is getting the goals for United. It's either McTominay or Harry Maguire. The 2 players that every United fan wanted out, and probably Ten Hag himself wanted them out, but they're keeping him in a job right now. Because if McTominay and Maguire are not scoring, they draw with Sheffield United, and they're probably drawing with FC Copenhagen. So Ten Hag, I know you're missing players, but the football's got to be a lot better. But I think now for him, it's about, hey, I just got to get results. And when the players come back, then we'll see how it looks. But it does not look good right now. So they're going to have to massively improve, because their next 2 games It is not going to be easy to go away to Copenhagen. I'll tell you right now. It is not going to be easy to play in Copenhagen if you're United. And then after that, away to Istanbul, they have to win that game in Copenhagen. Have to. Probably in the last match day, Bayern would have already qualified. So that's at least a benefit. But I think they really have to go to Copenhagen and say, we got to win this game. But I think FC Copenhagen, while they lost the match and they, Henrik Larsson, could you teach your son to take a penalty? Henrik Larsson's son, you guys know the unbelievable Swedish player. His son took the penalty and he missed it. It was painful to watch. But United and Onana, this might be sort of a redemption arc for Onana, that it's been a very tumultuous, uninspiring campaign with United so far. I think this is now where it can change for Onana, and he gets the save, and United get 3 points, but they do not look good, and this has to improve. Otherwise, they might be playing an or probably nothing at all after this group stage. But as you can see right now, Bayern have completely taken control of this group. This is what they do. But look at the defensive record. 5 goals conceded, but they have so much threat in the attacking phase that I got to say, they can be dangerous, Bayern, but I don't see it right now. I don't see Champions League winners whatsoever. Galatasaray, they hold their faith in their own hands. If Galatasaray can just beat United on match day 5, they'll be looking good. United, you got to win in Copenhagen. And after Copenhagen, you got to beat Man United. So that next game in Copenhagen is going to be very, very intriguing to see what happens. But really, it's been an entertaining group, I have to say. It's Group A. But let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. Big up to Antonio. Says, I think Bayern and Galatasaray will qualify. Yeah, United are not looking good right now. Big up to Angel. Says, Bayern weren't good, but they won and scored multiple times. Yep, they just got the individual quality. Jordan Larson played for Aiko. He was on his way up, and now he plays versus United and missed the penalty. It's Aiko players. I see how it is. Eric Ten Hag trying this 3-1-6 in possession. He's shocked that it's not working. It looks terrible. Well, Wiki Tiki, he needs to get rid of the 3-1-6 and just play the ball we saw at Ajax. But he wanted some of these players he wanted, right? And some of them maybe he didn't want. But he's got to be doing a lot better. He's got to be doing a lot better. It is very concerning. It is very concerning right now for Man United. I don't know where it's going to get better, but it's going to have to. I don't know. I don't see UCL winners in Bayern, but I think Tuchel is the problem, and the lack of good midfield for Bayern is hurting them. Kimmich is their only quality world-class midfielder. I agree with this, Antonio, but even Kimmich has not played that great this season. Like, he's not the Kimmich that we know. Kimmich can play a lot better. But yeah, I think what they're going to do, January 1st, sign a midfielder. Doesn't matter who it is. They got the winter break. They can at least give time to the player to adapt then to the system. But they need reinforcement badly, because I'm not going to see in the round of 16 Bayern go with the midfield of Kimmich and Leimer or Kimmich and Goretzka. Against a Man City midfield, against a Barca midfield, against an Arsenal midfield? Come on. That's not going to work. But anyways, let's move away from Group A. We move on to Group B, where I did predict Arsenal to win the game 2-1 in Seville. And I knew it was going to be... I think a lot of people could predict that Arsenal were going to have a tough game in Spain. And they weathered the storm. They had some turbulent moments. But it's just the quality that Jesus showed on that day. Jesus had a game, man. Absolute game. Him, Rice, I thought Tomiyasu, those 3 guys really stood out for Arsenal in that performance. I think for Sevilla, they huffed and puffed. They did well, but it's just maybe a little bit of lack of quality that was hurting them, and not really a lot of patterns of play, I think, in the final third. They could move the ball well into the final third, but I think it was just that final choice that Sevilla showed. It wasn't there. But that goal by Martinelli, Jesus, Cruyff turn. Martinelli run down the middle. He made a similar run. I think it was like the 10th minute of the game. He just couldn't finish it off. This time around, he went around the goalkeeper, Newland, and finished it off. It was a great goal, I think, from Arsenal, especially at a crucial time, the last minute of the first half. Get that goal, confidence heading into the half, boom. And then Gabriel Jesus, what a goal, man. What an absolute golazo. Top bins, Nothing Milan can do in the goal. And then, Sevilla, they had Gudel from the corner. It was a good goal. And Sevilla did create some chances. Had Raya punched that ball into his own net, there would have been an absolute ferocity all over social media, all over YouTube, all over Sky, BT, ESPN FC that say, why are you still starting David Raya? Right now, this David Raya guy, I can understand why Arteta signed him. Better on the ball, maybe more commanding and this sort of stuff. Ramsdale was looking much more confident than Raya. Raya, he looks like a goalkeeper who is playing under a lot of pressure right now. And he needs to play with a goal as a goalkeeper that knows, hey, I can take some risks and I know I'm going to keep my spot. But I think Arteta, because he really hasn't come out and said, that's our guy. He's our goalkeeper. I don't think he's sort of commanded that. And now he's created a situation where when either goalkeeper go in net, they're scared. And they're not playing with confidence. And you see it with Raya. He does not look like a confident goalkeeper one bit. And it's affecting Arsenal. Because had he made that mistake and they drawn 2-2, oh boy, Ramsdale shouts would have immediately emerged. Immediately. But I want to hear your thoughts in the comments in the chat. What should Arteta now do with the goalkeeping situation? On the weekend, whoever Arsenal are playing, do you now start Ramsdale or do you keep with Raya? Do you persist with Raya? Because if he makes another mistake and another mistake, it's going to affect Arsenal's season. Whether it's early in the season, okay, we hear it. But this is affecting Arsenal right now. Sevilla, I don't think they played necessarily bad, but it just shows they don't have the attacking quality. Like, look at Bacchio. Ocampos, I think, did well in certain moments. He had that chance in the last minute as well. And Naziri, I don't really rate the guy. Fantastic in the air. That's why I call him Naziri. Other than that, I don't rate him as a striker. And the midfield, it's just more of a workhorse midfield. They're not going to get the creativity from the midfield. So I think that's what's hurting Sevilla. But to be honest, they're not. Against Arsenal, I think most people would have picked Arsenal to advance out of this group. These guys just want to go to Europa League. They just want to go to Europa League. It's what this club do. They want to go to the Europa League, and it's this Sevilla heritage, and they're doing it right now when I show you the standings. But I think Sevilla can play a lot better, but it's now under a new manager, Alonso. Maybe it will take more time to work on the sort of patterns that he wants to play under. Alonso's a bit more of an attacking manager. Mendy Labar was a bit more of a structure, defensively good. So it's going to be a little bit of transition, but still Ramos put in a decent performance. Still at his age, Ramos, got to give it to Ramos. Then the other game in this group was not so entertaining, but I think it's just two sides that we know can be dangerous. And that's Lens and PSV drawing 1-1. I think Lens had one opportunity like in the first 10 minutes. It was the left wing back who I cannot remember his name right now. And PSV, they hit the post with Chucky Lozano. Lens, did they create anything else in the first half? No. But you could just see that there was the intensity between the two teams. Second half, Bakayoko, incredible. Just at the edge of the box, on his left foot. Do not show this guy the left foot. Do not. Because that was a screamer of a goal. I know it didn't rifle into the top corner, but he just nestled it right in that bottom left corner. Nothing Samba could do in goal. It was a beautiful goal from Bakayoko. And again, this striker, man. This kid, I like Wahi. Wahi, this striker, he could become one of the best strikers in the world. Just his off-ball movement, his variety of sort of finishes that he has. He's very good with that first-time finish. And I like Wahi. We saw it at Montpellier. Now he's doing it for Lens. Lens with great business. All right, Lois Penda, you did fantastic for us. We're going to sell you. We're going to bring in Wahi, 20 years old, playing for the under-21s, or Thierry Henry is the manager. It's perfect. It's perfect now for Wahi to really develop into a proper gunman. And now I think he's really going to thrive in this scenario and the environment, whether it's with France or with Lens, and quality goal. And after that, not really a whole lot of chances for both teams. Chucky Lozano had a half chance that was blocked. Judging by the highlights, because I didn't get to watch the game, I think 1-1 was a fair result. And I don't think it really affects both teams, but I think the game in Holland is going to be really intense. I think because both teams are like, hey, we got to pick up a win here. PSV are still going to host Arsenal at home. Lens are going to go away to Arsenal. So it's kind of more of a must win for PSV. You got to get if PSV can just get the home wins, that's going to boost their chances of getting out of this group because this group is highly entertaining. So let me show you quickly the standings. Arsenal now are top with 6 points. Lens are second with 5 points. So now they give themselves a 3-point edge. And then Sevilla and PSV both with 2 points. So it's a very intense group. I think they'll beat Sevilla in the next match day, obviously judging by highlights or if some crazy performances come through Arsenal's way. And then it's just about, okay, Lens and PSV, what do you got for us? I think that game is going to be highly entertaining. But big win for Arsenal. I think this is the sort of, I know Sevilla are not the Sevilla of like old where they have a lot of attacking talent, but I still like that performance from Arsenal where you got to go through some tough moments to get the win, and they did that, and now they move on to match day 4 where they'll play Sevilla at home, and that was a big performance by them. Remember, people who haven't done so already, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Let's get it up to 35 likes and subscribe if you're new around here. Tato was saying Sevilla is experienced FC. Yeah, they might be LinkedIn FC. When you're on LinkedIn, you show your profile. I think that's Sevilla. They're LinkedIn FC. I don't see any young talents. Acuna, Navas, Ramos, Gudel. Nuland might be their youngest player. And he actually might be their youngest player. Yeah, I think Nuland is their youngest player. There's no... Yeah, maybe. Yep, wasn't Bakayoko linked to PSV? He plays for PSV. He is PSV. PSV has one. Linked to Liverpool. Yeah, he was. Have any teams in the group won the UCL, the group with no heritage? Have any in this group won the UCL? No. PSV, I think, has won it. Yeah, PSV won it back. Was it the 80s or 70s? One of those decades, I know. One of those decades they did win it. Raya is not the problem. That midfield balance is the main problem. There's no guaranteed left 8, which is why we've been tinkering. See, the problem is, I think Arteta thought, oh my God, Havertz, he's going to be the left 8. And that worked out terribly because now he comes off the bench and looks even more clueless. So this, Xhaka was just the guy, but obviously Xhaka wanted to go back to Germany, but Xhaka was just so perfect in that midfield. But Declan Rice is an absolute beast of a midfielder. Absolute beast. Unbelievable player. All according to the plan for Sevilla. Yep. And yes, now let's talk about Group C. Sorry, people. It's cold here in Finland and I'm a little bit sick, but we move on to Braga and Real Madrid and Union Berlin and Napoli. This Samasi, I see you in the chat. Jude Bellingham scores again and again and again and again and again and again. And this guy is just on Inferno mode. He's in Inferno mode. While Real Madrid did struggle, I think, at times in this game, and you got to give a lot of credit to Braga, especially like the goal they scored, the team goal, the passing, and Jallo with the finish. Like, Braga really took it to Real Madrid. I know it's a tough, not really a tough environment, but it's a very awkward stadium because there's no fans on either end, and it's just the sideways, and there's just a big rock, which is a beautiful stadium. But Braga did give a tough game to Real Madrid, but it's just the quality that Real Madrid have and the midfielders and, Rodrigo getting the goal from Vinicius' pass, even though it was kind of took a deflection off the defender. And then Jude Bellingham, a wonderful team goal from Real Madrid. I think Real Madrid, okay, weather the storm from Braga. Braga, obviously, big moment for them. They bring in Real Madrid to come in away. And I think Real Madrid, professional performance. Did they give like 100% in this game? You could say, not really. No, but they just knew the assignment. Collect the 3 points, go to Madrid, and get ready for El Clasico on Saturday. And that's exactly what Real Madrid did. Could they play a lot better? I think they could play a lot better. And they might show that to Braga at home in the next match day. And I think for Braga, they still got to feel good about themselves. If they can just... They got to hope that Napoli don't beat Union Berlin. Because if that happens, then Braga are in a tough situation. But Braga, they've been really impressive, and I think they can finish third and go to the Europa League. They deserve, I think, a lot more praise for how well they have played. It's just that, okay, we think about Benfica, we think about Sporting, and we think about Porto, but Braga in this Champions League campaign, have been fearless. And even the comeback kings against Union Berlin. So, gotta give it up to Braga. They could have even gotten a point in this matchup. They didn't. And now they go away to Madrid, which is not going to be easy. And then Napoli and Union Berlin. Oh, boy. That is 9. 9 losses in a row for Union Berlin. 9. Oh, man, this is not looking good. This is not looking good. I don't know what's happening with this team. We know Union Berlin, people, right? We know what they are. They are a defensive team, hit you on the counterattack, and that's how they get the goals. And Union Berlin are struggling big time to keep clean sheets and to create chances. Those two things are not working in their favor. If it's not Sherald or Becker getting the goals or creating, I don't know how this team score goals. I don't. And they didn't create a whole lot against Napoli. And to be fair, Napoli didn't create a whole lot either. But when you got that guy, Kvara, and I see all these idiots all over the place saying, oh my God, Kvara, this guy is just a one season wonder. See, this is the problem a lot with modern football fans is when you don't perform for 3 games, one season wonder. Oh my God, one season wonder. He's not that good. He's not that good. Come on, man. He's just he should go back to playing in Georgia. Kvara, yes, he's a very frustrating player when you're supporting the team he plays for. But Kvara can give you that moment, and he gave you that moment. The ball to beat the man and the cross to Raspadori. That's what Kvara presents, and that's what you need in the Champions League. You need those difference makers, and that's exactly what Kvara brought. Without Victor Osimhen, his side guy, and now Napoli picked up a big win. I knew this was not going to be I actually predicted 1-1 because the injuries that Napoli have suffered. But Nathan, the center back, he looks pretty good. Their new signing that they got from Brazil, he looks pretty good. And I just like the way that adversity going to a tough ground, and you got to give it up to Union Berlin fans, man. Even though they keep losing, they just support their team no matter what, and it's just a beautiful sight to see. And that's really I think the essence of true supporter culture is what Union showed. But their team is not giving them a lot of support because they do not look good right now, and it could get worse. If Union Berlin do not pick up their form, is it actually going to be relegation talk for these guys? I don't want to say it, but the performances are not good, and their Champions League campaign, their first time ever, is looking pretty horrid right now. And it's now Real Madrid, perfect 3 for 3, 9 points. Napoli with 6 points, Braga with 3 points, and Union Berlin with a big fat 0. And right now, I would have to say that Napoli are in a good position now to get second place. Hey, they could even still get first place if they beat Real Madrid away in the Santiago Bernabeu. And I think for Braga, they're in a perfect position. This is exactly where Braga want to be. They get Europa League football, more money into the club. That's a perfect scenario. And Union Berlin, sorry guys, man, it just does not look good for you right now. So let us move on to Group D. What you guys saying about this group? Real propaganda plus English propaganda is a nuclear weapon. Union ain't even that bad. They're just getting gitted. I wouldn't say gitted, but it's just Union are not playing well right now. I have to be honest. I'm a Barca fan. I hate Real Madrid to my core, but that take that aside, I can appreciate how good Bellingham is. You have to. They're out of their depth. That's it. UCL was too much quality for them. Yeah, for Union. I'm an LSC fan. Believe me, I'm sick of Madrid. We haven't beaten them in the transfer window. Angels, so am I, buddy. People saying he's a one-season wonder. Don't even watch him. He's a good player, but people expect him to be a goal scorer. I'm telling you, everybody just wants the guy to be GA, goals and assists. Even if Bellingham wasn't scoring all these goals, I could just see how he affects Real Madrid's play. Even if he scored just 5 goals so far in his Real Madrid career, you can just see that he's going to become a great player for Real Madrid. It's the same thing for Kvara. Really proved his world class. I wouldn't say he's world class because I want to see Kvara do it in a big game. I want to see Kvara do it in a semifinal, quarterfinal, and I didn't see that last year. I didn't see that from Kvara. He got pocketed by Calabria, but I still believe Kvara. This is his second season in a top 5 league in Europe, so you got to give him time, and he will prove to people. Oh, don't worry, we'll talk about Tonali. Feyenoord being this good in Ajax and relegation battle living a night. I bet you are, buddy. I bet you are. Because the George says Benfica have looked pretty poor in their Champions League this year. Gotta say. And that's a perfect segue. Let's now talk about Group D, where Inter Milan and RB Salzburg played to a 2-1 win for Inter. But RB Salzburg, again, like, for how young they are, they don't really show their age that much. They don't. Like, they just play such a fearless football. And that's what I really appreciate about RB Salzburg. Like, they gave a game to Inter. I know Inter made some changes to the lineup because they're trying to balance both Serie A and Champions League. And they probably thought, okay, RB Salzburg at home should be comfortable 3 points. It wasn't that comfortable, but Alexis Sanchez gets the goal. And then RB Salzburg, they created chances. Their goal that they scored was beautiful team play. The hold-up play, the link-up, then Glauc with the finish. Çalhanoğlu then with the penalty. It kind of looked a little bit iffy. The ref, I think, wanted to go to VAR. They didn't go to VAR. And then Çalhanoğlu finishes it off. But I think it could be a lot better performance from Inter. But they ain't going to care. I think they really showed against Benfica at home that we are a damn good side. The RB Salzburg game was more of, okay, professional performance, get the 3 points. I still really like this Inter side. I think they just know how to handle, 3-4 years ago when Inter returned back to the Champions League, or 5 years ago, 6 years ago, they look like a side that have not been in the Champions League for a long time. Now, they just look like, hey, we've been here. We got the heritage. We made it to the final last year. We know how to handle this competition. We know when to turn it on. We know when to just sit back and defend. And that's how Inter do it. And I think they can still, I think Inter can make a semifinals. That's how good they are. When they want to be. Switch it on. Boom. Dumfries, Di Marco, Lautaro, Thuram. They can rest guys. And now on Sunday, Lukaku returns. Oh, I bet they, once they saw that game, they circled it on the calendar and said, we're going to show you why you should have not rejected us. Should not have done it. But Inter, good performance. Could be a lot better. And I think RB Salzburg, again, like, they're a good side, but I think their age shows at times, and they're a young team, a very young team. But this Real Sociedad team, people, I think they can make it to a quarterfinal. I think they can do similar to Malaga did back in, was it 12-13 or was it 11-12 season? I think Real Sociedad can do it because the football they play is really sort of just inspiring. Okay, do they create a whole lot of chances? No. But it's just the way that Imanol's side, they keep the ball. It's just so fantastic. Like, he has built just the side that have the blueprint downloaded on a USB. He connected it to their brain, and it just works. And all the players know exactly where to be. Zubamendi, Kubo, Orizabal, Bryce Mendes. Bryce Mendes with another goal. That's now 3 goals in the Champions League. He has scored in every game so far, and he looks like a quality midfielder. I think this Real Sociedad, I think they can make it to a quarterfinals. Defensively, they are strong. I think they're missing that sort of striker. They had Sorloth last year who was getting them the goals. If they had a striker, I know they have Umar Sadiq, but Sadiq, he's coming back from ACL from last year. Hasn't really worked out this season. But with Kubo or Rizabal, these guys, I really do like Real Sociedad. I think they have shown that even though we haven't been in the Champions League for 10 years, they look like a side that's been here before. They look confident, calm, collective. So got to give it up to Real Sociedad. Another fantastic performance away in Benfica. And Benfica, they look awful. I mean, Benfica look awful. If you would it's just a complete 180 from last season. Last season, pressing well, intensity, movement off the ball, movement with the ball. Now, slow, lethargic. They look like a walrus. Walrus out of sea. That's what Benfica look like. And I don't know what's happened with Roger Schmidt. I don't know if it's just, okay, you had the first season, which was great under Roger Schmidt. The football was fantastic. João Mario, Rafa Silva playing well. Now, why did they not sign a proper striker? Like Cabral might be the worst. I know he didn't play. I don't think I think he came off the bench in this game. I can't remember exactly. People, let me know if Cabral came off the bench. But it's just that you don't have a striker to play that you can just have a vocal point to. And that's the biggest issue. Obviously, Di Maria was injured, so he wasn't able to play. The only bright spot right now for Benfica is João Neves. Like, João Neves looks like a baller in the midfield. Other than that, I'm uninspired. And Benfica, are they even going to get a Europa League spot? Or are they just going to say, F it, we're just going to focus on the league this season? Because it's not looking great. And a lot of their performances this season, even in the Liga Portugal, it does not look good. So, yeah, it's tough times for Benfica. I would just say that I said this was a must-win. Their campaign is done in the Champions League. It would take a miracle for them to get out. And if they want to qualify to the Europa League, they got to go away to Real Sociedad. They got to go away to RB Salzburg, and they got to play Inter at home. It doesn't look good for Benfica after last season, what they did, which was, I thought Benfica showed last season, wow, maybe they're on the right path. But now it's back to uninspiring and just, it's not good enough in my opinion. But Real Sociedad, Inter now both have 7 points, RB Salzburg on 3 points, and Benfica on 0 points. So if RB Salzburg want to have any chance of getting out of this group, they got to beat Inter at home in the next match day. And for Benfica, if you want to have any chance, and I mean any chance of getting out of this group, you got to win all your last 3 games. But I don't see it. They have scored 0 goals. They got punked in Milan. They should have lost 5-0 at home against RB Salzburg. Okay, they played well with 10 men, and then what was it? No, Tuesday against Real Sociedad, they got punked at home. It's not looking great. It's not looking great for them. Big up to George says Takefuso Kubo is the next big transfer. The guy is unbelievable. What a player. Big up to Bruno, one of the members of the channel. Shout out to you, Bruno. Says Benfica's team didn't even change that much. They lost 2 key players. Hey, I mean, Grimaldo is one of the best left backs in the world. But I think Gonzalo Ramos and Grimaldo, they're big losses, but I would expect, with the way Benfica have done business in the last couple of seasons to, hey, even though this guy leaves, we got another dude. They invested so much more their rivals this year still. It's weird. Yeah, I don't know what it is with Benfica. I don't know if it's just that the continuity within the group isn't there or what it is, but the performances have not been good right now. Cabral has 1 goal so far this season.
This is bad. This is very, very bad.
He's actually awful. 20 million this guy costs, by the way, people. 20 million. Big up, YG. How you doing? Big up to Jackson says, I was at the Inter game. Really good performance, but Lautaro and Thuram, they're only bright spots. Yeah, I think, to be honest, Jackson, for Inter, they didn't really concerned about this game. I think they just hey, we get the 3 points and we move. I think that was the main thing for Inter. But I'm going to expect better performances further down in the competition. They know how to handle this, right? They know, okay, we don't have to give 100% right now. Conserve some energy. Next game, next group stage game, the next one, and the next one. So, yeah, I wouldn't be too concerned about how Inter performed, but the most important was just to get the 3 points. Yep, we'll talk about Kang In Lee. We'll talk about him. Japanese forwards looking good. Kubo, Mitomo Jr., Eto, Nakamura. I think Japan are going to absolutely wallop that Asian Cup. With the way things are going, they're gonna absolutely destroy that Asian Cup. I hope Sociedad keep Kubo and build a good team around him so they can start competing in La Liga more. Antonio, you know the answer, buddy. It's not going to happen. I know a team that could use possibly a right winger in the summer, and it's a red team that plays in a city called Liverpool. If a certain Egyptian king leaves. If that Egyptian king doesn't leave, then he doesn't need to come. But I feel like Kubo is going to make us move in the next summer because the kid, although he is unbelievable, I know he doesn't get a lot of goals and assists, but he's just another player like Kivara where they make so much of an impact in the game that, the defenses have to then focus on him, and then that allows the likes of Orizabal, Bryce Mendes, and others to flourish. That's what makes Kubo so good. I just think he's got to be a bit more calmer on the ball, but it's just his technique and technical skill is all there. So, yeah, Kubo is a baller, man. They lost these guys, but the drop-off shouldn't be this big. Yeah, 100%. Benfica shouldn't be dropping off that much. But now this is a fascinating group, and I think this is my favorite group of the Champions League so far. Feyenoord, like I called it, I knew they would destroy Lazio, and they did exactly what I thought they would. And that is Santi Jimenez is an absolute danger man. He is danger man. 2 goals, like I called it. I said 2 goals, boom. When you are hot, you're hot. The man is just everything he touches is a goal right now. Is he like a striker where he's like, oh my God, he's quick, he's got physical attributes? Of course, he's a big striker, but I just like the way, Santi, he holds up play. His link-up play is good. And anytime he finds a chance in the box, it's a golazo. And that's what makes Santi so good. It's just his off-ball movement. He had the chance like in the first 10 minutes. Was a fantastic cross by Igor Paixão, back post, and it just didn't connect there. But Feyenoord are such a damn good team, people. If I would recommend any team to watch in Europe, it is Feyenoord. The way Arne Slot has these guys playing, and Feyenoord keep on selling their best players again over the summer, and they just replace them because Arne Slot has a way of playing, and the players believe it, and everything is just a beautiful sight to see. And Feyenoord just destroyed Lazio. Lazio had nothing in that first half. I can't even remember a chance they had. Unbelievable performance by them. Even Zerouki, who got the fantastic finish from him into the top left corner. I thought him and Wiefer, they bossed that midfield. Bossed it. Luis Alberto could do nothing in that game for Lazio. Nothing. I think for Sarri, he was scared of Feyenoord, and it showed. And he tried to change it up. Like Immobile was non-existent. Immobile. That's what he was. Immobile in that game. Because Immobile did nothing. Then Tati Castellanos comes on, and he misses a sitter in the first 2 minutes he's on the field. It's been a strange season for Lazio. It's just so up and down. It looks good for patterns, and then it looks horrible for the next. Even though they got the late win in Glasgow, I still wouldn't trust Lazio away from home. I wouldn't. That's why it's good for them that they got 2 home games in the last 3, because I would not trust this side away. But Feyenoord, I wish I could say the Feyenoord could make it to a quarterfinal, but I feel like they have to win this group. If Feyenoord can win this group, then I think let's say if Feyenoord get if it's like a Feyenoord Real Sociedad round of 16, that is going to be a footballing show. That is going to be so interesting because Feyenoord are a much more direct team, pressing high up the pitch, a lot of combination plays, whereas Sociedad is more just triangles and just beating teams with the ball on the ground. That's going to be if they could match up against each other, I would be fascinated to see what happens. But yeah, you got to give it to Feyenoord. They're just such a good team. And Arne Slot has just built a machine. Absolute machine. But they got to be careful going away. They performed really good away in Madrid against Atletico. They just made some defensive lapses and couldn't really take their chances. And again, this was a game where they didn't have Santi Jimenez. And as soon as Santi Jimenez starts, he gets 2 goals. This guy's leaving next summer. And he's probably going to go for like 40, 50 million. Who needs him? Who knows? The other game was another fascinating matchup. Celtic against Atletico de Madrid. Like I said in the predictions, Celtic have played really well. And I feel like they're just unfortunate with their first 2 games. They got the 2 red cards in Rotterdam against Feyenoord. Then they let in the late goal against Lazio with Pedro. But they have played well. But they just haven't completed a full 90 minutes. Against Atletico, that combination, Furuhashi, great goal. The team goal, again, Celtic really moved the ball well. And they're just another team where they're just fearless. And it doesn't matter which opponent, they're going to take the game to the opponent. And Furuhashi gets the first goal. Griezmann with the penalty. I think Johard saved it, but then obviously went off the post, and then Griezmann just taps it in. But this Balma guy, I like this Honduran, I think he came from, where did he come from? Was it Aris, I think, in Greece? I think that's where Balma has arrived from, but he looks like a damn good attacker. I do like this this Palma guy. So you got to keep an eye on him. Morata then getting a goal. Fantastic header from him. I think it was Molina with the cross. Unbelievable goal from Atleti. Then they get the red card. I don't know what Rodrigo de Paul is doing in that second yellow, bro. You're on a yellow. Why are you making that challenge? Why? But, Atleti held on. Celtic didn't really create, I think, a whole lot after the red card. So I would say draw is a fair result. Although, before that second goal for Celtic created chance and chance and chance. They just were not clinical enough. So, overall, with the balance of play, I think 2-2 is a fair result. But got to give it to Celtic. They took it to Atletico, and Atleti will be happy with the point. And it's just about, okay, are Celtic then going to be, again, the forward-thinking team? Are they going to take the game to Atleti away? They might have to because they got to get the point because they only got 1 point so far. But, yeah, this is a really, if you want to watch, entertaining games where none of the teams are we just want to sit back and defend. And maybe Atleti at times, but it's Diego Simeone, and that's the way he rolls. But look at the group, man. It's gonna get interesting. This is gonna go to the final day. If somehow Celtic can beat Atleti away, and let's say if a Feyenoord or Lazio draw, then it gets it. Then this group it gets more fascinating and more fascinating. So, yeah, big up to these teams providing us with good, entertaining football in the Champions League so far. Oh boy, group of death time. Oh boy, Milan fans, look away. But what are you guys saying about this group? Celtic Park is no joke. I thought they would lose heavily. Nah, you got to respect Celtic. No, PSVR now. Yeah, Mats Wiefer looks like a baller. Absolute baller. Ange left his imprint on Celtic. They play fast, entertaining football, but fade last 30 minutes. Nevertheless, great to watch. I would like Celtic in the Premier League to spice it up. Well, that's never going to happen. But, yeah, Celtic, even under Brendan Rodgers, they play this sort of entertaining, fast-paced football. But I do agree that they kind of do burn out in the last 20 minutes. But even against Lazio, they didn't burn out, and they did get the winner, but then it was called off for offside. But yeah, Celtic have been fearless in this Champions League season. I got to give it to them. No, Jackson, I'm busy, buddy. Jimenez to Spurs. I think that would be if Ange got his hands on Santi Jimenez. Boy, oh boy, that would be a fantastic move for. I think look, they spent the money on Richarlison, and clearly Richarlison is not that guy. Remember, people, if you haven't done so already, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. We only got 32 likes, and there's 27 of you watching. I know some of you haven't hit the like button, so do that right now. And if you're watching on replay, give me your thoughts of so far of the groups, and if your team is still in the Champions League. Let me know in the comments down below. Oh, man, this cold is getting crazy. But Milan... Oh, Milan, bro. That was so bad. Oh, Milan, that was so bad. I don't even know where. Milan played well for the first 20 minutes. They pressed well. They won the ball in the midfield multiple times, but they had no idea what to do with the ball. No clue. It just stunk up the place. Big time again. That is now five straight Champions League games where Milan have not scored a golazo. Give us one goal, please. Rafael Leao. I really like Rafael Leao, man, but I just want him to do well in the Champions League. We see the guy, he's a baller. He's got the potential. But he needs to step up for his team because Giroud is not going to do it. And I thought Pulisic was actually their best player yesterday. Well, the best attacker yesterday. I thought he was their best attacker, but he still didn't play, I thought, to the Pulisic level. He showed it in sparks in the second half. But that midfield, somehow, some way, Krunic is a professional footballer. This guy might as well just, I don't know. Krunic, it was god awful. There was a time where Vitinha picked the ball. Krunic looked at Zaire Emery and said, no, I'm not going to track. Then with the ball, Krunic has no technical ability whatsoever. I'm sorry. Krunic is just, why is he starting? Okay, cool. He works hard, good off the ball. You need to have some technical skill. And Krunic has zero. And the midfield was poor for Milan. They couldn't control the game. Even though I really like Reinders, didn't have a good matchup. Musa, well, was decent. Yeah, it was decent. Oh my God. Face. Nah, face. Nah.
That is blasphemous.
Nah, that's horrific. That's horrific. But yeah, Milan were just god awful. I mean, the goal they gave up. Big up to Mbappe. Yesterday, Mbappe showed why he's one of the best players in the world yesterday. Because when his team needs him to step up, even though we criticized him a lot in Newcastle yesterday, it's that Mbappe move. Quick with the feet, one little touch, bam, bottom left corner every time. And it seems like every time it goes through the legs of a defender. Every single time. And Mbappe was really good yesterday. Really good. Colomwani, it's terrible. Like, nobody is switched on for Milan. Just shows you where they really mentally in this game. I know this is not a Milan side with the stars, and this is a young side. Like, they're going to build and more. But come on. You cannot concede that sort of corner and then nobody marking Colomwani, who's free as a bird. Well, it's like Mike Tyson's pigeons. He was free. Free. Then they let Dembele score. Thank God it was a foul, because it was rightly a foul from Ugarte. But even they let Dembele score. There is one thing. You cannot let Dembele score. This guy is so bad as well. I said that yesterday when I tweeted it out, by the way, people. Remember to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, all that stuff. I said Dembele and Krunic are horrifically bad footballers. Dembele has the talent, but every choice he makes is terrible. Terrible. Dembele still hasn't scored a goal for PSG. Even the one cross he played across to Mbappe went out for a throw-in. That's how bad Dembele is. But there was a massive, massive positivity for PSG, and that's yet again Zaire Emery putting in a performance. He is not 17. There's no way. There's no way. There is no way Zaire Emery is 17. He bossed that midfield. Do you see the assist he gave to Mbappe? The way he just said, Reinders, hit bench today. Hit calves today. Bullied him off the ball. And just the composure that Zaire Emery has. It's just him, Lamine Yamal, Kendry Pais, the youngsters. Even though they're young, they have more maturity than most pros now. That's the crazy part about these youngsters, is just how confident they are on the ball and just how much composure and making the right choice. And Zaire Emery is showing that. And he's just showing such a variety to his game. He's not really sort of that guy where you're like, oh, he's going to get you goals from the midfield. Zaire Emery is not that. He's more of just a box-to-box guy. And I think Zaire Emery, one hell of a talent. And that's nice that, Luis Enrique, he's always been sort of a manager who I respect the youth players. And I want to bring them in. And he's given Zaire Emery a big chance this season. And Zaire Emery is doing wonderful. Him, Ugarte, Vitinha. How many times yesterday, people, did Vitinha have all the space in the world for him on that left side? I saw maybe 5-10 times where Vitinha had all sorts of space. But yeah, do I look at PSG and say, yeah, they're one of the contenders for the Champions League? No, but I think they can. This is a new team, right? They have a lot of new pieces. They have, what was it? In the starting 11, they had Lucas Hernandez, Colomwani, Ugarte, Dembele, Lucas Hernandez. So almost 5 to 6 new players. Skriniar, 5 to 6 new players in the starting 11. So it's going to take time to build the chemistry and work under Luis Enrique. But when you got a guy like an Mbappe, give Lee Kang-in a chance. The guy did more in 20 minutes than Dembele did for 70 minutes. Or probably Dembele this whole season. This Lee guy, we saw it at Mallorca. Really good player. Now, he's playing in the Champions League. Theo Hernandez was so frustrated with this guy, he just said, I'm going to kick you right now. And that's Theo Hernandez, a very good left back. And Lee Kang-in was doing that and getting him frustrated. Milan were terrible. Absolutely god-awful performance. Could care less. Pulisic should be shooting. Pulisic, when you're through on goal, take the touch, shot. Why? Oh, you want to, okay, sweaty it to Giroud. Man, oh, just Milan were so bad. Oh, they were so bad to watch. Honestly, how do you go? What's now? So YG said 11 halves with no goal from AC Milan. They're playing like Atlanta United in the Champions League. That's how bad. Oh, man, it's just so frustrating because I know there's talent in this team. But do you question then Pioli's tactics? Like, okay, maybe you got to sit back more, hit PSG on the counterattack. Don't leave a lot of space. But to be honest, I think his tactics were working for the first 30 minutes because they won the ball back, but they just did not know what to do with the ball. That was the biggest issue I thought with AC Milan yesterday, especially. Man, oh man. They are quick to get on Kvara for not getting a call contribution. How about Leao step in? Please rise. Please rise to the stand. Yeah, he was so bad. He was so bad. If Dembele scores, you know you messed up. Yep. Leao has to step up 100%. Leao, he had multiple opportunities to either find a man or put the shot on target. Leao did not play a good game. I need to see more from Leao in these big games. Please, Leao, please. You are a baller, Leao. You have everything. You see that one move where he made nice little Zidane turn, beats a man, beats another man, and then just overdoes it with the ball. Mbappe fakes the curl to the far post finish, then fires near post. Yeah, it's just that one move he does, right? It looks like he's going to curl it to the top right or bottom right, and then it's just, boom, quickly into the bottom left. Every single time it goes between the legs of some player. Every time. Yeah, they loaded. They loaded Captain Leao. Pioli has ran his course. I'm done. Basically, in big games, we are horrible. Hashtag Pioli out. Okay, people. MM is an AC Milan fan, so it's his choice. He watches every AC Milan game. I don't watch every AC Milan game. I try and watch as many as I can. But would you say Pioli out, people? Put a 1, yes, and put a 2, no. And let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I don't think it's Pioli out. He has credit in the bank, but he needs to do better in these big games. That's what I would say. Inter last year got destroyed by Inzaghi. Got destroyed. So yeah, let me know your thoughts, people. Pick up AK says, why keep going at Leao? Look at who is next to him, a 37-year-old ball of flesh and a guy who declared for America because he couldn't make the Croatian first team. AK. AK. Leao was the worst of the front three yesterday. Pulisic played a better game than Leao. Leao was terrible against Newcastle because he should have scored. And Dortmund, he played decent. So I expect better from Leao. I expect better because he's the most talented of those front three. He is. No, of course. You know, Milan were missing players. Benacer, Chukwueze, Okafor. They're missing these guys, right? But it should be doing a lot better. It should be doing a lot better. I do think Pioli is living off his league title. Milan got to come back to those levels. Actually, wait. MM, if you're saying Pioli out, realistically, who do Milan get? Who do Milan get? Bigger Brandon says, which top 5 leagues is popular in Finland? Premier League and Bundesliga. Those are, to be fair, a lot of people have a lot of different teams here, but the most popular team here is probably Liverpool and Barcelona, I would say. Yeah, those are, I would say, that are the most popular. Pulisic missed the opportunity from Manjan's long kick, though. That was Milan's best chance. Okay, AK, at least Pulisic got involved, and Pulisic created a chance for Leao, and the guy didn't even get a shot on target. See, AK, you want to defend Leao? Okay. When was the last time Leao scored a Champions League goal? I will rest my case. Pick up the Zeno says, no one seems to talk on Leao. He goes under the radar when he's dropping disaster classes. 100%. I agree. See, people, if you're watching this back, you're thinking to yourself, oh my God, Michael, he doesn't rate Leao. I fucking rate Leao highly. That's what's frustrating. The guy is so talented, but it just seems like at times he's like, oh, okay, maybe I'm here. Maybe I'll get involved in the game. In moments, you just see the guy switch on, and he's gonna beat a man. He's gonna create a chance, but he doesn't do it enough. That's the biggest issue with Leao. And if you watch him for the Portuguese national team, it's just kind of a similar pattern there. AK, that's what I do. I'm a 5-star Michelin chef. What do you want from me? When you are the best player on a team, and I expect to rise despite the situation, because we have to have high expectations of a player, 100%. And technique merchants would rather slander Giroud. Yes, they would. They would. But if I'm going to be honest, Giroud should not be starting for Milan. It should be Okafor, who they got from RB Salzburg. But Okafor is injured. Although Giroud almost scored a ridiculous goal, that chip he almost did over Donnarumma. Milan have to win the next game, but we're going to discuss it more, because the most entertaining game yesterday was Newcastle and Borussia Dortmund. Luckily, this was playing at the bar as well, because I went to go watch the game with a friend. But man, the intensity and just the way it was a tennis match. You attack, I attack, you attack, I attack. Plaudits to both teams for providing entertaining football. And Dortmund, I did say in the predictions that they played a lot better before the international break. And I wanted to see, okay, how would Dortmund do after the international break? Again, they are defensively looking more solid than last season and the many seasons before. But attacking-wise, they just don't have that talent. Or it's just maybe, okay, get in the Adeyemi to start or something like that. But, Julian Brandt was injured. But Dortmund, I think they really played well in that first half. And every time they went on the counterattack, like Donyell Malen had about 3-4 chances. Nick Pope made that one double save, which was amazing. It was a really entertaining game. Gordon had 2 chances in that first half. Isak coming off injured, which isn't great either. Like, if Isak is injured, that's not good for Newcastle at all. I got to give it to Dortmund, though, because I think a lot of people wrote them off before this game. And like, okay, you saw what Newcastle did to PSG at home. Tough environment, Champions League night. How would Dortmund react? Dortmund looked like the team that had been here before. And they looked like the experienced heritage side. Mats Hummels, Schlotterbeck, both playing with confidence and just ease. Even though, Newcastle in the second half played a lot better. And then they started creating more chances. They hit the bar twice with, I think it was Gordon's header. And there was the other one as well. I can't remember who shot it from Newcastle. But Dortmund, that is a big win. Really big win. And I think somebody really put it. Shout out to Aaron, who's another YouTuber. He said it was a professional performance from Dortmund. It was. They just looked like a heritage side in the Champions League. Is their team full of Champions League experience? No. But they got they got Goebel, who was fantastic yesterday. He's a very good goalkeeper. Mats Hummels, center back, even though he doesn't have the pace or is really the best Mats Hummels that we have seen, because obviously he's getting older, he played a great game. And yeah, and Mitchell with a fantastic goal. That first time finish past Nick Pope was ridiculous. So that was big, though. If that was their first goal of the Champions League group stage, and to keep another clean sheet, that bodes well for Dortmund. If they could just find a bit more of like attackers where you're like, I don't want to play against those guys. Could that be a Sancho in January? This is the funny thing. Dortmund are undefeated in the Bundesliga. They still haven't lost a game there. And their Champions League campaign, well, it hasn't been the most inspiring. They got 4 points. So it's actually going well. But now they got a tough game at home against Newcastle. If Dortmund can win that game, they're going to give themselves a really good chance, because I thought they were going to finish last in the group. I really thought. But Newcastle, should they be bewildered, or should they be, sad that they lost the game? Obviously, you're going to be sad, but I think they still put in a good performance. They just could not get the ball in the back of the net. You're going to have that in the Champions League. You can create all the chances. You can have most of the possession, but you got to be clinical in the Champions League. Maybe sometimes in the Premier League, luck goes your way. In the Champions League, you create your luck. And Newcastle just didn't have the luck on their side. And Dortmund, big win. Really big win. Because now this group, that game in Dortmund is going to be intense. This is the good thing for Dortmund. They got 2 home games left against PSG and Newcastle. If they could just win both of those games, I think Borussia Dortmund will get out of this group. Because I'm honestly losing faith in Milan. I'm honestly losing faith in Milan because they don't look good at all. They don't. They still have scored 0 goals. And Dortmund have scored 1 goal. By the way, people, it's head-to-head on if the teams are tied. It's based on head-to-head results. But yeah, big up to Newcastle. Big up to Big up to Dortmund. Big win for them. Respects France all-time goal scorer. Bellingham has been carrying Real Madrid. Yep, Dortmund were streetwise, 100%. Seriously, I think Newcastle was expected to win after the PSG result and got humbled. Nah, but I don't think Newcastle really played with sort of an arrogance or, oh, we've been here before, Dortmund, you haven't. I think Newcastle still played a good game, but I think Dortmund just really leveled it up to what they wanted to do. And you got to give credit to Terzic, man. Got to give credit to Terzic. Expected them to be ass. They were good. Dortmund is the dark horse of this group. Yep. Newcastle are screwed. Injuries to Isaac. Oh, yeah, the Tonali ban. Oh, God, man. The guy played, I think he played like the last 30 minutes. I mean, at least Tonali got some, he can get ready for like a Cooper test or something like that. He's gone now for 10 months, man. Tonali. Oh, yeah. No, Minerals, I did. Go back and watch that. We already talked about Milan AC Milan game, by the way. Newcastle dropped after that masterclass against PSG. I don't think they dropped, but they just weren't as clinical as they were against PSG. And you got to be clinical in the Champions League. Well, this group is finito. It is pretty much finito. It's just like this is just easy. This is just too easy for RB Leipzig and Man City. Way too easy. Remember, people, if you haven't done so already, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. But Xavi Simons, do you guys see that golazo? If you haven't seen the golazo, go check out Xavi Simons' goal against Crvena Zvezda. That was a ridiculous goal by Xavi Simons. First time, boom, top right corner, ridiculous goal. Dani Olmo coming back from injury, getting a goal. That's good to see for RB Leipzig. And I think Crvena Zvezda, they did play. I didn't watch the game. I was just basing it off the highlights, but they did create chances. And again, they're another team. Okay, away in Man City, they played very defensive. But away in RB Leipzig, I felt like they were a bit more attacking. And they did create opportunities. Bugatti, again, I really rate this Bugatti guy. He's a good player. I just think to myself, okay, it's a professional performance from RB Leipzig. Get the 3 points. And Crvena Zvezda, all they're thinking about is just beating young boys and then getting to the Europa League. I think that's the main goal for them because they still played a good game. It's just they don't have the quality to finish their chances, even though they did create quite a lot of chances. They did test RB Leipzig. It's not like, oh, they had one chance and got the goal like they did against Man City. No. Crvena Zvezda created a couple of chances, but it's just RB Leipzig. They got those guys. They really got those guys to get them the goals. And now with Dani Olmo back, that's a good thing. And it's a similar thing for Man City against Young Boys. And Zeno, by the way, it's because it's an artificial pitch, I believe. I think it's an artificial pitch. It's the Young Boys stadium, but I'm not going to call it the name of the stadium, by the way. Again, Man City, it's just too easy. It's too easy, people. Way too easy. But you guys see that second goal by Haaland? Everybody chats. See, this, again, people, this is why I tell you, don't take some people serious. Because after one game, after 2 games of bad performances, they think the guy is done. He's over. He's always been a trash footballer. Haaland, that second goal with the right foot is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But that goal from Elia as well, the chip over Ederson, that was a golazo. That was some Jogo Bonito chip right there. For Man City, like, what do you want me to say, people? They're going to destroy this group. And again, they created chances, even though Haaland, based on the highlights, had like 4. He had at least another open net. He had another one where it was a good save from the goalkeeper. Man City could have won this 5-1 and Haaland should have had 4 goals. But it's, again, I see this narrative going around like, oh my God, Man City don't look like their usual self. How many times do you want to do this, people? How many times? Oh, season after season after season. I know people want to make, content and make, narratives. I don't know what happened there, but I was saying that, people want to create this narrative about Man City that, oh, they don't look good for the first 10 games of the season. What's wrong with them? They download the system. Pep is creating it on his PDF, on his Photoshop, on his whatever. He downloads the system installs it into the players. There we go. Boom. And then Man City are off again. So you can say, oh, they don't look great. They don't look good. Haaland doesn't finish all of his chances. They're fine, people. They're absolutely fine because this group is a cakewalk for them. Also, this group is a cakewalk. Their only test is RB Leipzig. And we know what Man City did to them in the round of 16 last year. It's a cakewalk. Look. So look, it's pretty much done. It's done. Three wins out of 3, 9 points, 3 goals conceded. It's quite a lot, but nothing to really fear about. Yeah, actually from Corral, that's actually a good point, Nicola. And then for Young Boys and Cervantes Festa, it's about getting to 3rd place. Which team gets it? I kind of maybe fancy Young Boys in that. I do. I do kind of fancy more Young Boys in that situation. But let us see as we get to the last group. People with Group H. We're to Barcelona. All right, let's see what you guys are saying. Shout out to Rico Lewis as well. He's been really good for us. Hey, man, another 18-year-old kid. What is up with these kids, man? What are they eating? Is it because of Prime? Is that what's going on? Is it now Logan Paul and Kane side tax why these players are doing so well at such a young age? I do not understand, but damn, another one. I don't know. When was the last time I finished club made it to the group stage in Champions League? 98-99, Hoiko made it. And we beat Benfica in 1 game. Man City is so good. If you're left for a bit. On social media, a top player can become trash after 1 bad game. It's totally reactionary. I know, Angel. I know. That's like me last season after 1 bad game by Salah and saying, oh, he was never world class. You can criticize Salah and say, he doesn't look good. But you can't say, oh, this guy was never world. I just don't subscribe to that crap. I really don't. It's not just the UCL. Benfica are struggling to beat anyone. Liga Nos. The table doesn't represent their performances. Agreed, Zaire. They have not looked great that season. AK, you were asking for it. Oh, you were asking for it. Wait. Cover your ears, people. There we go. I personally feel Lewis will be too small to play in defense, but he's perfect in midfield. I think he could play anywhere, I think he's just like another Zinchenko where he's a footballer. When you have a footballer, he can play any position, feel comfortable, and can ball out. And that's what Rico Lewis is. But this is the last group, people. Group H, another. What is it with Barcelona and these La Masia players again? Lopez, even though he has played a couple games this season. But last year I checked, he was playing in the 3rd division of Spain. And now, balling out. I thought he was really good yesterday. Really, I thought he was probably Barcelona's best player yesterday. Probably, I would say so. The goal he scored off the post and in, you could just hear the ping off the post and in. But Barcelona keep picking up injuries. Hopefully João Felix is not that injured. I know he came to social media and said he's okay. But did Barcelona play their best game? No. Were they kind of maybe conserving energy for Saturday against Real Madrid? Possibly, but I think for Barcelona, it's just another one of those performances. Professional, get the job done, get the 3 points, and move on. They didn't play great, but they have so many injuries, people. Like now, you can legitimately say they have a lot of injuries, which they do. Damn, I just hope for their sake that they don't keep on piling up more and more injuries. Otherwise, they might have just the La Masia start every game. Because that's what's happening right now. Their players step up. Ferran Torres getting a goal. And it was a good goal from Shakhtar as well. Nice team goal. Sudakov getting the goal. But it always just felt like, okay, Shakhtar were 1 goal behind. But it never felt like, yes, they're going to win this game. Or going to get a draw. It never felt like that for Shakhtar. Disappointing for them. But Barcelona, good performance. I'm not going to really take too much into account for this game. They're going to struggle at times. And I think for Xavi, maybe him and the players had an eye for Saturday. Because Saturday is a big game, people. It's El Clasico. What can you do? And then you're playing against Shakhtar. Are you really that motivated? No. And I think now Barcelona have gotten to a stage under Xavi where they don't need to play their best to win a game. And that's a good sign. I just hope some of their players will get healthy. And then Porto, they beat Antwerp. Evan Nielsen with a hat trick. That second goal he scored, the volley, was ridiculous. It was a beautiful goal by Porto. They switched play, from one side to the other. Then again, they switched it to the right side, and then it was Elvin Nielsen with the half volley. Unbelievable team goal from Porto. After the first half where Antwerp, they created the chances, Yusuf getting a nice goal as well. And Porto didn't really play their best, but this has been the problem for Antwerp throughout this Champions League season. They're playing way too naive defensively. Like defensively, they are so easy to play against. Way too easy, and that's the biggest issue for them. They have not been a good defensive side. I can understand Antwerp. You want to play good attacking football, but you have to be better defensively. They keep on making way too easy mistakes. And when you got teams like Porto, they can just punish you. I quite like this Porto side. You know, it's not like the big names that we think of in their squad, but I think they play very well in transition. Really well. Eustáquio getting a nice goal. Even Evan Nilsson, I think it was the last goal was the chip. Yeah, last goal was the chip for the hat trick. So yeah, I think for Porto, this has been a bit more of an encouraging Champions League campaign. Okay, the group is quite easy for them, but I am encouraged by what I have seen from Porto so far in this Champions League group stage. I think they can be a dangerous team. It's just that they have to start games well. I think that's the biggest key for them. If they can just start games well, they can be a dangerous side. And a big win for them, 4-1, away from home, good performance, and Evan Nilsson scoring a hat-trick. Happy days for them, and now they take more control of second place in this group. All they need to do is just beat Shakhtar at home, and then it's pretty much Barca and Porto. It's you guys. And then Porto, they go away to Barca, and if they win, I think Porto, they can go to that game away in Barcelona and think to themselves, we gave them a tough game at home. I think we can beat them away. I think the Porto can have that mentality. Barca, I think the best thing for Barca is it's an easy group because they have so much injuries, right? If they had the same group from last season, they'd be screwed with all the injuries. Now, because the group is not that difficult, they're in a comfortable position, and happy days for them. They will most likely finally progress out of the group stage. Barcelona, finally. Big up to Velociraptor Mentality says, good win for Barca. Porto getting rewarded for their unlucky opportunities against Barcelona. Stressful win for Barca, though. Wonderful hat-trick from Evan Nilsson and a great second goal. Yep. No, they cannot. It's poor group, Porto. And yeah, I agree, Zayed. But I'm more encouraged by what I've seen from Porto this season. I have to be honest. I think we can beat Barcelona for sure. We're looking strong in the UCL right now. Agreed, George. The only criticism I would have is that this is not that strong of a group from Porto's perspective. It's not. But they do look, I think they look a lot more threatening on the counterattack compared to last season. Eustáquio and Varela, that midfield, you guys know I like Alan Varela a lot. And Eustáquio, he's a baller as well. But everybody, that is now the review of the Champions League. Not the most, I would say, enthralling or a lot of major talking points. Still some golazos from Evan Nilsson, especially that second goal he scored for the hat-trick was exquisite. But everybody, remember on Saturday, we got the El Clasico watch along. So join me for that. I think it starts 3 o'clock UK time is the game. So I'll be going live about 2:45 UK time. So join me for that as we have the El Clasico. Remember to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and get your thoughts in the comments down below of any match from the Champions League this week. Have a beautiful day. Stay safe in this crazy world. And until next time, adios.
This is bad.